You're listening to Game On with Jackson Stuart.
Life is good, but you, player, deserve something great. Follow Game On with Jackson Stuart on social media and get the latest advice, tips, and life hacks. Follow at Game On with Jack on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Lastly, hook yourself up with news you can use. Interviews, posts, articles, and more on men's lifestyle, health, and success. See you at www.gameonwithjack.blog. Life's a game. Time to play. Time to win.
We all strive to be comfortable. That is a basic biological function, moving towards environments that put us at ease, situations that are safe. However, every so often a player will rise who looks to do what is hard rather than what is easy. Every so often a player will embolden themselves to evolve not in spite of difficult situations, but because of them. Luckily for us, such a guest is with us tonight. Luke Kingston helps people build a bulletproof mindset while becoming self-aware of who they are. Growing up in a life of comfort, Kingston realized it was getting him nowhere. Desiring change in his mindset to become a better version of himself, and through coaching found that version. Luke always considers the hard route to go down, as it most often leads to the best results. Becoming the person one wants to be is a difficult thing to do, but never impossible. Kingston is a lover of sports and fitness, and when he is not coaching, he is most likely training MMA or out for a run. Luke Kingston is also our guest this evening.
You always searching for a better thing, wanna replace me. I'm in a place that I've never been, it's worse and lonely. Cause someone tell me they see good in me, there's good in me. Cause I got doubts, I got doubts, I got doubts, yeah. Sometimes I wanna risk it all, since you left me. Struggle, baby, I see pain.
Alright guys, you've heard the introduction in the bio. Now join me in welcoming to Game On, the inspiring, the powerful, and the rugged Luke Kingston. Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jackson. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you so much, and a big thanks to Luke, because we were trying to work out some tech issues not too long ago. But Luke, let the audience know what name they can find you by and on what platform.
So Luke Kingston, or my business, my coaching business name is Kingston Coaching. So you can find me on Instagram, Kingston Coaching, or my website, kingstoncoaching.org.
And for those who can't detect, Luke, you are from across the pond. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in England, in London. So not in the central part of London, but on the outskirts. So if you've heard of Wembley Stadium,
yes,
it's quite close to there. Yeah, I'm very close to Wembley. And another thing that you might not know about me is that I'm actually half Spanish as well. So my mother is from a very rural part in Spain called Palencia. Which, so when I grew up in the summer vacation, we used to go there for about a month and just, see the family, see friends, and have a good time in the sun.
Now, one of the things in your biography that jumped out to me, and I want to spend some time talking about it, is that you grew up with a life of comfort, and you found that growing up like that did not help you per se. So how did you realize that? What kind of comfort are you talking about? And how did that lead you into the business of coaching?
Yes. It's one of
because most people don't say that.
think
Most people are like,
shaped
"Oh no, I grew up
me.
in comfort. It was great." Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it was, I think it was growing up, it was realizing that I came from a pretty average, normal life where I had everything I needed, which in some ways made me choose the easy options when I was growing up, maybe in school. But then obviously realizing all of this growing up and coming out of school, realizing my mental health wasn't at the best, and really I always wanted to be a better version of myself, like just growing and achieving things, but I never actually went and done it. So it wasn't really until I actually signed up to do my first triathlon, which was when I was like, damn, okay, this is what hard work feels like. Um, so yeah, it's one of those things where nowadays I'm more often than not putting myself and choosing to do the hard thing rather than the easy thing, because I know that the hard thing will bring about good results for myself, which is a lot of the philosophy that I use for my life coaching business that I run.
So we got what I'm assuming is probably a young Luke Kingston, does a triathlon, says this sucks. This is a lot of hard work. And then what was the path from that realization, maybe at the finish line, maybe like a mile away from the finish line, to when you go and start your first coaching gig?
Yeah. So do you know what it is? I learned a lot about discipline within that. I think it was a 12-week training plan that I made for myself, and I learned that discipline is the thing that creates the memories and the high moments that you have in your life. So it's like you work towards something day in, day out for a long period of time. And then when you get to the event or the moment where you have the glory and you've overcome all that work that you've put through, you realize that discipline and the hard work is what got you there. Because for me, the race wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be at the beginning. But then going through the race, going through the process and getting to the finish line, it was like, oh, damn, if I didn't train, I would have had a really bad day and I would have hated myself for it. But because I trained, I stayed disciplined to the plan. It was nice, and I had a good time with friends and family there as well. And then moving towards sort of the coaching business and how that came about, it was, so I used to work in a management job. And for me, a lot of the things that I want from my life is purpose and understanding, okay, what makes me fulfilled as a person. And I was introduced to a life coaching course by a customer in this management job who spoke to me about how he thought I could use the skills from my management to portray this into my life coaching. So after a few different courses I went on, I eventually became accredited, and I've been sort of trying to expand and help as many people as I can within the niche that I've created, which is young adults who maybe are struggling with their purpose direction, maybe social confidence and some anxiety. And in a way, it's kind of the person that I used to be, which I find kind of funny how sort of things come full circle. But yeah.
There's two quotes that, excuse me, kind of come to mind as you were talking about taking the difficult path because it's difficult. So Kennedy, the American president, had a great quote about when the Americans were trying to get to the moon in the 60s. And, he goes, we do things not because they're easy, but because they're hard. And then the other quote I thought of was, that easy times make bad men, hard times make good men, and good men make easy times. So I find that fascinating because most people try and take the path, the path of least resistance, but you're the guy that goes, nope, I'm taking that tough path. And that says a lot about you, and I think it says a lot about your approach. So I'm curious, who are some of your influences? Maybe like people you read, people you listen to, musicians, whatever. Who are three people that get Luke Kingston up and moving?
Damn, that's a great question. There's a lot of different people that motivate me in my life. Um, I'd say for starters, just my close set of friends that I have around me. They push me to do more, and the things that they're doing as well motivates me to keep up and keep elevating my game. I'll give you a famous one that you probably definitely know, Mr. Goggins, David Goggins.
Oh yeah.
I guess running through my ultra marathon and marathon, I was listening to a lot of what he was saying, and the words he says is very captivating and gets you thinking about, okay, I don't want to be that person that quits, or that doesn't fulfill what I was supposed to do. And he envisions and captivates everything perfectly, which I really like, and yeah, it resonates with me a hell of a lot. And one more, I'll give you one in the coaching industry. Sorry. I'll give you.
We're both in the same boat, coughing and sneezing, so don't worry about
it.
Are.
Yeah, we are. We're both ill, but we'll get back. But yeah, one in the Rich Litvin, a name that you might not know, but he's very well known in the life coaching industry. He created a book called The Prosperous Coach, and it's all on spreading a good word of mouth, connections through conversations. And that approach that he had has motivated me to sort of try my best to put myself out there and have these conversations that can help people, because you can't help someone until you have that conversation, and the conversations are key to life and growth.
Can you say the last influencer's name and book one more time? You fell out for just a second.
His name is Rich Litvin. So okay. That's RICHLITVIN.
Awesome. So one of the things that I also picked up in your bio that I wanted to ask you about is use the term bulletproof mindset. So can you tell listeners, what is a bulletproof mindset and how do they get it?
Yeah, I think it comes down to a lot of what we've been already talking about, and it's that desire to want more from yourself, and in a way having a stoic way of thinking, of not letting the things out of your control affect you, and being able to control those things that are in your control. So it's a way of thinking, and it's a way of understanding who you are as a person and where you need to go on your journey. And for people to in a way get it, it's, I wouldn't say you just get it, it's more you work towards it, and you believe that you yourself put on this earth are here for a reason, and you're going to follow that reason and try to be that best version of yourself day in, day out. One of the things I like to say to myself every day when I might be feeling a bit unmotivated is just try to improve yourself by 1%. Just getting that 1% every day.
I like that. You know what I really like about that, and we've had fitness coaches on the show, right? And they say something very similar, because like people get overwhelmed about getting in shape, and they shut down before they even like put their foot in their gym shoes, because they think, I gotta go to the gym and I gotta bench press 400 pounds, gotta run 18 miles. And they say most of the time, just do one thing, just get to the gym or just get, just walk for 10 minutes, because you may not be, ultra every day, but a little bit on days that you don't feel your best is still pretty good. So I like that 1%. Like, let's just get 1% improvement today. Who are your... Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add on to that and say it's like when you try to show up too much, you end up pushing yourself back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you want to have that consistent growth for yourself. So I mean, when starting a new habit, don't just go in and do like 5 hours in one sitting.
Right.
Just take it slow and just build the habit.
So, to something that you mentioned earlier, and I'm a firm believer in, it's that saying, show me the 5 people you hang out with, and I'll tell you your future. How important, and you mentioned that your friends are influential for you. How important is it to have a good collection of people around you?
Yeah, I believe that you're only as strong as the weakest person in your 5 people. So it is about having the people that are around you that motivate you to do more. It's like if I wasn't doing the things I was doing, maybe to motivate my friends, they might not be trying to do even more things to motivate me, and you kind of bounce off each other. There's healthy competition there, and it's in a way, obviously, when you go to the gym and you work out with a friend, you end up thinking, "Oh wow, I haven't worked this hard before," because of that healthy competition, and wanting to push each other to do more. A funny thing that happened actually a few weeks ago was we were doing tricep dips, the weighted ones, and there was 4 of us doing it,
Oh yeah,
and I haven't done them.
those
I haven't
hurt.
done them for a very long time.
Yeah.
But there was 2 of us who got to 50 kg, and then another 2 that got to 40 kg, and they were all of the runs that we done were all PBs, just from pushing each other, giving each other that extra burst of motivation. So yeah, definitely having that group around you and that positive influence is it's going to help you. It's going to help you in your future.
Now, to that point, also, like, so let's say there's a guy out there and he's listening. He's like, man, Luke is dead on. 4 of my good buddies help motivate me, but one son of a bitch is just no damn good. Like, how do you handle or how do you recommend that? Like, maybe that friend they're a good person, but they're just not helping getting you to that next level. They're not motivating. But how do you handle that kind of like delicate situation? Like, how do you give them distance? How do you handle that?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things you can do is approach them and talk to them. But I mean, there's a famous saying: you can bring a horse to a lake, but you can't force the horse to drink from the lake.
True. True.
So
True.
it's sort of like it's down to them to make that change or to spur on that moment. But also as a friend, it is your responsibility at times to pick them up and to maybe give them that reality check. I know for me, I've had to give a few of my friends like that reality check, but for their future, so that they know they're going in the right place, in the right direction. So yeah, having that conversation, but in the right environment and at the right time for them.
What are 3 of the biggest challenges men face when they grow up comfortable?
I think one of the things that men will grow up, especially growing up as a young adult, I think imposter syndrome is one of the things that people go through, which I actually think you can spin this whole narrative into a positive one. Um, a client said to me this to me the other day. He said, imposter syndrome is like growing pains, because it's like you don't know where you are right now, and you don't feel comfortable with the situation that you go through. Maybe you're just starting a new office job with some corporate people, or you're trying to start a new business and you don't feel like you're comfortable, not comfortable, but you belong there right now. But it's the more you carry on going there, you keep showing up, you keep working towards just improving yourself. Just for example, that 1%, you're gonna feel more comfortable. But some people will let that imposter syndrome sort of engulf them and take over. So they take that step back. So I'll definitely say try to rewire that mindset on how you view imposter syndrome.
And what are 3 steps, or maybe just three-word instructions that you would give a guy right now who wants to bulletproof his mindset?
Yeah, 3 steps to bulletproof someone's mindset. I would say try to become more self-aware of yourself and where you want to go, and
Mm,
where your current position is.
great point.
Um, think about challenges that you can put yourself through. Maybe it's like social connectivity or building your social skills. Maybe approaching that girl that you've had a crush on. Maybe approaching that business that you really wanted to pitch to. Like putting yourself out there and going out of your comfort zone and really trying to grow your comfort zone. I think that's another thing that's really important. And the final thing I'd say to build that bulletproof mindset would be to just show gratitude and love towards yourself, because you've got yourself into this position where you are in this current moment. So just thank yourself for that. You're alive, you're well, hopefully, and you should appreciate that. Show thanks and be thankful for yourself and the things that are going on around you.
Another quote, excuse me, of mine that I love is, and this kind of goes to your imposter syndrome point, is that sometimes you got to burn the ships. And for people who never heard that, and I don't know if it was the Romans or the Greeks or some ancient invading army had basically landed in a place, and to basically tell his troops that they were going to have to either, take over or die, the general burned the ships. And it's like, you're here, so you better figure it out. And, while that can be a bit extreme, I mean, guys, just like Luke said, like, you're there, make the best of it. Be self-aware. Self-awareness is huge. So many guys are not self-aware. And just, I really love gratitude. I think that an attitude of gratitude is one of the keys to just unlocking that next level for people. And I think people, especially in today's world, because of not just social media, but because of instant communication, we get bombarded by negativity all day. And guys, unplug, be grateful. Even if you're just writing the word thank you and you don't mean it, you keep writing it, eventually it'll sink in. But Luke is dead on about that. Luke, one of my favorite questions, because it makes every guest squirm, in keeping with the theme of sexiness, what is the sexiest thing about you?
Yeah, definitely a fun question to ask. The thing is, until you ask that question, you don't really think about it. You know what I mean? I would like to say my competitiveness, my desire to win, and if we're talking, maybe my eyes have been complimented many times over the years. I've got some nice blue eyes. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
I love your reaction to that question, which you said, because like most people don't think. I'll put it this way. Let me back up. Everybody should find something sexy about themselves. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you think you should look like. I don't care if you're hitting your fitness goals or maybe you're not. You're with you all day. And if you can't find something sexy about you, there's a problem.
Yeah, that's dead on. You're dead on the money there. It's like, you're living in your own skin, so why not just try and make yourself as comfortable as you can?
Maybe if you're overweight or underweight, but maybe your sense of humor is sexy. Maybe you got great teeth. Maybe if your personality is kind of, you feel like it's dull, but maybe you got a stunning body. Like, everybody should feel sexy about something. Luke, to that point, what in your opinion makes a person sexy?
To be sexy as a man, there's so many different things you can do, and I think that one of the most important things is just having that desire to just constantly improve yourself, which is a lot of what I've been talking about and preaching in a way. But another thing you can talk about, could say, is like you said, good sense of humor, that banter, a good personality, leading people, and being able to problem solve really quickly and effectively can be seen as a sexy characteristic. Confidence, a good scent, maybe having your own custom scent that maybe you use and people know you for. And one of the things that I love as well is animals. So being able to not just animals, but maybe children, being good with children and dogs and cats and whatnot. So yeah, I'd say all of that.
I love it. Luke, it's time for the quick game where we like to give our guests a chance to run through some entertaining questions. Are you ready?
Born ready.
Luke stays ready, so he doesn't have to get ready. Here we go. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
How would you describe yourself in just one word?
Competitive.
Favorite cereal?
Frosties.
Your top 3 books?
The Prosperous Coach, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and Meditations.
Yeah, I tried to read the 7 Habits. That's the Stephen Covey book, right?
That's right, yeah.
Oh man, I could not get through it. And I know people who swear by it. I acknowledge it's a great book. I just couldn't get through it, but I'm going to work on that because I know it's a great book. Running late or always early?
Always early.
Name 3 Star Wars characters.
Oh, me, Luke Skywalker, Anakin, Darth Vader, Chewbacca, Yoda. I love Star Wars.
Oh, there you go. Every time I ask a question like that, I don't know how I know it, but I'm always like dead in sync with a guest. Like, oh my God, how'd you know I like Star Wars or Star Trek, whatever? I don't know. It's my magical power as a host.
No.
If you could meet one historical person, who would you meet?
That's a great question. There's so many. Historical. Winston Churchill.
Great pick. One of my favorite quotes is from Churchill. If you find yourself walking through hell, keep walking.
Yeah, that's a fire one.
I love that one. If you could run a mile in under 4 minutes or climb Mount Everest in it one day, which would you pick?
The running one.
And last but not least, my favorite question probably, who inspires you?
Me.
Nice. Good people, sexy people. That wraps up our interview with the powerful, the rugged, the man that takes the hard path, Luke Kingston. Luke, let everybody know one more time where they can find you.
Thank you so much, Jackson. It's actually been, I've loved this. This has been one of my favorite interviews.
Oh man, thanks.
And if you want to find me, if you want to get involved in some life coaching, you can find me at kingstoncoaching.org or send me an email at info@kingstoncoaching.org, and on Instagram it's kingston.coaching.
Awesome, Luke. Thanks very much, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, man. Take care. Bye-bye.